Hey, what's going on, everyone? Man, Friday night, late Friday night, I decided to call Capital One to see if I could product change a car, and I was in for a rude awakening. I'm shooting this video Saturday, September 19th at 11:50 p.m. and it was bugging me so much that I just had to just express it to everyone of what I went through when I tried to do a Capital One product change from one of my oldest cars, and to see if I can upgrade to something a little bit better, something that I can get a benefit from. Hey, welcome to Points Blank Travel, everyone. My name is Rod. On this channel, we talk about credit. We talk about credit cards. We talk about points and miles, how to travel around the country or around the world for little or no money out of your pocket. If this is something you're interested in, do me a favor. Subscribe to the channel. Hit that like button. Give the video a thumbs up. It really helps it get pushed out to YouTube. And with this video, I'm telling you right now, you definitely want to get it pushed out. Share it with your family and friends. Share it on your social media platforms. I would really appreciate it. And with all that being said, you know what time it is. Let's roll, baby. Hey, so we already got down to it. We know what the video is about. A Capital One product change. Capital One is already notorious for not giving huge credit limits or huge credit limit increases. And the card I'm going to talk about is hilarious to me. It has a $750 credit limit. I started with a $500 credit limit. They increased it to $750. I've had this card 8, 9, maybe almost 10 years, and I thought it was hilarious. Well, last night, Friday, probably 11ish, I decided to pay my Capital One Venture card. Let me pull it out, because this is going to come into play. I decided to pay my Capital One Venture card. I had made a purchase, and I usually pay my bill as the purchase is post. I don't wait until the bill is due. I don't wait until the end of the statement billing date. I pay it as soon as they post, if at all possible. So while I was doing that, I have my Capital One Platinum card attached to the same login, and I noticed it had a $39 charge, and I hadn't used this card. Well, it was the annual fee, and I'm like, wait a minute, man. I'm not getting anything out of this card. Let me see if I can maybe product change. And it was kind of late. It was probably 11ish, almost the same time as I'm filming this video, except it was Friday night instead of Saturday. So I decided to call Capital One, and I got a very nice young lady. I still want to say maybe it was someone overseas, but perfect English, it was no problem. Gave her my information, and she told me she had a product change for me. I'm used to doing product changes and telling them what card I want, not a company telling me what card I can get. And she said, well, hey, you know what, Rod, you're eligible for the Capital One Quicksilver One card. And if I was early in the game, if I was an early Capital One customer, I would probably have been cool with that. But there was one small problem. I already have the Capital One Quicksilver One card. Why do I want the same card? I was so upset. And I posted a video. I shot a video and I published it not too long ago about how to increase your credit score and not letting credit, not letting your emotions affect your credit. And I almost went against exactly what I had preached in that video. Before I go any further, man, speaking of Capital One, the Capital One Platinum card is my oldest credit card. I actually have one more military card that was older, but I had to pay homage to the card and do the retro look, the throwback look. I got the straight afro, no curly curl juice, no hats, got the little fade going on. But anyway, getting back down to business. So as I talked to this rep, I'm like, ma'am, it makes no sense. Why do I want a card that I already have? Now, if this was the Freedom or the Freedom Flex card, I would have jumped all over it. If it was another Platinum card or another American Express card, I would have been cool with it. But why do I want the Capital One Quicksilver One card when I already have one? and it's only earning 1.5% cash back. That blew my mind, man. I was so upset. My emotions almost overtook me. Matter of fact, I told her, I said, you know what? I'm on the verge of closing all my Capital One cards. That's how I said I was. Now, keep in mind, I have the Capital One Venture card. This card has a $12,500 limit. I have the Quicksilver One card, $2,750 limit. I don't even use this card. I use my Venture card. And then I'm coming up with a card with $750 credit limit. I have the American Express Platinum card where supposedly there's no pre-spending limit. But when I first got the card, I did the pay over time feature, and they gave me a $35,000 credit limit. My American Express Gold, same thing, $35,000 credit limit. What am I gonna do with a $750 credit limit? Now, it made sense if I was just starting out and all I had was the Capital One Platinum and I was trying to product change and they offered me the Capital One Quicksilver One card. But one of the things that came to mind, and I let the representative know, ma'am, can you see all of my account? Do you see that I have a Capital One Venture card with a $12,500 limit? And you're offering me the Capital One Quicksilver One card? We didn't even get in the credit limits. Who knows what that would have been? I don't know. But why do I want a card I already have? I was really thinking about maybe the Quicksilver card, which has 0 annual fee, still 1.5%, but no annual fee. Or the Saver card, maybe even the Saver One. Saver One, no annual fee. Saver, $95 annual fee, 4% cash back when you're dining out. I had plans. I want to say I made a mistake by doing this late, but I thought I would catch them at the right time by doing it late, and man, they blew my mind. So one of the things I wanted to talk about in this video, when you're working with Capital One or you're involved or dealing with Capital One and you go to product change, you may want to do it early on. I mean, I'm late in the credit card game. I have 24 cards in my arsenal. A $750 credit limit was cool when I was at that $750 credit limit level. Now I'm at a different level, and I don't really care about credit limits. I have cards with a $1,000 credit limit. I have cards with $2,000 credit limits. I don't care about that. What blew my mind was they offered me a card that I already have that's really not that beneficial. I'm not saying Chase or American Express won't do this, but can you offer me something different? Can you look at my credit profile? Can you see that I have a card with a $12,500 credit limit? The Venture card? Can you offer me something in that range? You know, Capital One just really, man, I'm telling you, please do whatever you do. Don't let your emotions overtake you. I was so close, and I really had to think about the videos I published because I was ready to close every Capital One account I had because they really upset me by not giving me more options. And get this, man, this really blew my mind. One of the reasons that she gave me for the only option of having the Capital One Quicksilver One card as a product change option or choice was because I don't use the Capital One Platinum card. And my response was, ma'am, I got that card when I was first starting. I got that card when I was beginning. Why am I gonna use a card that I get nothing from? I get no points, I get no miles, I get no cash back. What is the benefit of using that card at the stage I'm at right now? When I was a beginner, this was a perfect card. I didn't care about points and miles or cash back. All I cared about was establishing credit. Can you do me a favor and look at my profile? And this is when I started to believe that this individual, this representative, although she was very nice, was someone that was overseas because she was bound by the conditions of what they told her she could do. It made no sense to me, man. I'd love to hear if you've experienced trying to do a product change with Capital One. Did you go through anything like this? If you try to get a credit limit increase, did you go through anything like this? I'm gonna still use my Venture card. I don't even use the other two cards anyway, but this really put a sour taste in my mouth, and I'd love to hear what you have to say about it. Do me a favor, post it in the comments below. I'd love to hear about it. I have a couple of videos scheduled. This wasn't even one of them. I decided to do this last night, and I just wanted to share it with the community, share it with the viewers that watch Points Blank Travel, share it with the subscribers of Points Blank Travel. If you're early in the game, this would have been a perfect move. It made sense to go from the Platinum card to the Quicksilver One card. It made perfect sense. So I'm not bashing Capital One, but for a seasoned veteran in a credit card game to offer me a card that I already have, and I have a card that's a couple steps ahead of that, the Venture card, it made no sense. Hey, do me a favor. If you got something out of this video and you haven't already done so, please subscribe to the channel. I'm shooting for 1,000 subscribers. Also, man, if you liked it, get a video a thumbs up. It really helps with the algorithm. It helps YouTube push the video out to even more people, and I think this is something people really could benefit from. Share it with your family and friends. Share it on your social media platforms. You never know who could get something from information that's being put out like this. Also, tune in to Points Blank Travel. If you subscribe, hit your notifications. I do a live stream every Wednesday, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. I'm thinking about pushing that back to 7:30 Central Standard Time because I want to make sure my East Coast people have time to fight through the traffic and maybe get home. And with all that being said, shoot for the moon. If you don't make it, you'll be amongst the stars. Hope you're having a great day. Hope you're having a great weekend. I'll be coming at you soon, dropping even more knowledge. Stay tuned. I got a bunch of videos coming out. And until then, peace, baby.